Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by HelloFresh, the food delivery service that brings pre-portioned fresh ingredients right to your doorstep so you can prepare a meal in about 30 minutes. HelloFresh has so many recipes to choose from, and it's a great way to break out of recipe ruts. And it's super flexible if you want to change your delivery dates, your food preferences, or even skip a week. HelloFresh's pre-portioned ingredients means there's less food prep and less food waste. And the packaging is almost entirely recyclable or made from already recycled content. HelloFresh also saves you tons of time. You can make a meal in about 30 minutes or even 20 minutes using their quick and easy tips. This week, my family really enjoyed the zucchini, mozzarella, and sun-dried tomato panini with basil sauce and herbed potato wedges, because what kid does not love potato wedges? I'm sure there are kids out there, but generally speaking, most kids love potatoes. So if you'd like to try HelloFresh for yourself, go to hellofresh.com and use my code emmymade12 to receive 12 free meals, including free shipping. Big thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video and for their continued support. Now today, I am making a video that has been about 2 years in the making, and this is no exaggeration. I first attempted this back in May of 2019, and that's almost 2 years ago. I failed epically. I'll put a link down below to that first attempt. So today I'm going to be re-attempting to make century eggs or 1,000-year-old eggs. They are eggs that have been processed in an alkaline solution, which changes the eggs. It's a way to preserve the eggs, but it completely changes them. When you cut them in half, they are black in color. The eggs have gelatinized and the yolks have turned this kind of olive green color. It sounds extreme, and it is, but they are extremely delicious as well. I grew up eating them sliced and served in jok, which is a savory rice porridge that is so comforting and nutritious. My mom would make it for us, and I still love it like that to this day. You might have seen these videos where people attempt to eat them whole, unaccompanied with anything, and proceed to vomit all over the place because they're not made to be eaten that way. So these days it's very simple to go to the Asian market and buy already made century eggs, but I am very curious about the process of making century eggs as a means of food preservation and the transformation of the egg itself. So in a nutshell, what we're doing is creating an alkaline or basic environment for the egg, which changes its charge, which changes the protein and carbohydrate properties of the egg. Amazing! So it actually increases the amount of protein and reduces the amount of carbohydrate in the egg, making it more nutritious. The recipe I'm going to be using comes out of this book. This is Science in Cooking, Physics Meets Food from Homemade to Haute Cuisine by Michael Brenner, Pia Sorensen, and David Weitz. And this book comes from Harvard, from the class that is taught by the same name, Science in Cooking, and it is full of wonderful experiments / recipes to explain food science at home. So cool. I made the deep fried ice cream. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link down below. So this recipe is Corey Lee's 1,000-year-old quail egg with potage and preserved ginger. I'm not going to be doing the potage or the preserved ginger. I'm just interested in the egg. So to begin with, we're going to be using a different type of egg. We're going to be using quail eggs, which are about the third of the size of a chicken or a duck egg. I'm imagining this will speed up the process because the rate of diffusion is going to be a lot smaller because the eggs are a lot smaller. So in a small saucepan, we're going to heat up 115 grams of water. Once it comes to a boil, take it off the heat and add 1 gram of pu'er tea and allow that to steep for 20 minutes. Transfer this to a ceramic jar to add 16 grams of kosher salt, 14 grams of sodium hydroxide. A big note here, sodium hydroxide or lye is very caustic, and you should wear gloves and have some kind of eye protection. This is the same ingredient that's found in drain cleaner, and it's also used to saponify or to make soap, which I am super excited to try. And 0.7 grams of food grade zinc. Gently stir this and then add the rest of the water and cover it and let it rest overnight. So I transferred the solution into a jar and then added my eggs to ensure that the eggs would be completely covered with the solution. Now you're going to cover the jar and let the eggs soak in the brine for 12 days. 12 days, wearing gloves, you're going to remove the eggs from the brine and rinse them briefly with water and then allow them to air dry for 1 hour. Crazy process, all this, isn't it? It's so fascinating. I love it. So take the dried eggs and place them in a Ziploc bag, seal the bag, and then place them in a light-proof box. I just used 2 black to-go containers and taped up the seams, and then store the box in a cool, dry place for at least 4 weeks. So now it has been 5 weeks since I placed my eggs into a box. Dun, 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 dun. Here we have my box. See? There are the eggs. So the water's coming up to a boil, and now I'm going to place some eggs in there. And they said specifically not to place too many because you want to keep this at a boil. So I'm just going to put in 5. And set my timer for 1 minute. Now we're going to transfer them into some ice water and cool them off. Look at these quail eggs, aren't they adorable? So I've already prepared a pot of joke. If you want to learn how to make it, I'll put a link down below to a very old video on how to make it. It's quite simple. I'm going to heat this up because that's how we're going to eat our eggs, but I'm really, really hoping that those eggs worked. All right, my lovelies, the moment of truth. Here we go. Ooh, it's feeling very, very promising. It's like bouncy. It worked. It totally worked. Oh my goodness, it totally worked. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Look at that beautiful egg. Look at it. Finally. Ah, victory, victory, victory. I even got some pine flower snowflakes on this one. Oh my gosh, yes, look. Look. Oh, see that? Victorious. I want to frame this. I don't want to eat this. This just makes me so stinking happy. They smell very sulfurous and just how I remember century eggs smelling. Sulfurous, not exactly pleasant. But I can't wait to eat it. Okay, let's see the others. This one is a little bit lighter in color. So it looks like the diffusion wasn't very consistent. Oh, but this one has the beautiful pine flower reaction too. Look at this one. It's clear and yellow in color. Alright, now let's go ahead and cut open our century eggs. Oh, I'm so happy about this. So I went ahead and peeled them, and I have to say, most of my eggs turned out like this. They gelatinized, but they're yellow in color rather than this beautiful black. Through the whole process, I lost some eggs, so I had about 20 that finished. And of the 20, I had about 6 that came out properly, nice and black like this. And the majority of them were like this, yellow. So I've seen in other people's blog posts that they've also gotten this kind of result. Ta-da! Isn't that cool? So great. It's like an agate or something. So now I'm going to cut this up into wedges. Because these are so small, I'm going to cut another one. Scoop some joke into my bowl. I love making joke with leftover rotisserie chicken. Love making a stock and having it for breakfast. Drop my century egg in there. I'm so excited about this. Top it with some green onions and white pepper. Alrighty, my lovelies, a meal I've been waiting 2 years for. Beautiful. Here we go. Itadakimasu. So good. First of all, if you've never had joke before, I highly recommend it. It is so nourishing and comforting, super simple to make, so very good on a cold day. I recommend lots of white pepper. If you don't have white pepper, black pepper will do, and green onions on top. And it's such a simple and delicious meal. You can put fried garlic chips on top. Pork floss is delicious, or century eggs. The century eggs have such a marvelous texture. They're kind of like hard-boiled eggs, but springier and bouncier. And the yolk portion is creamy and rich and has a very strong sulfurous aroma to them. And it has a bit of a metallic mineral flavor to it, kind of similar to blue cheese. If you've had a strong blue cheese, you know what I'm talking about. It's delicious. So, so good. And I'm so happy. I did it. It only took 2 years, but I did it. So there you have it, my lovelies. That's how you can make homemade century eggs. If you'd like a printable recipe, I'll put a link down below to my website where you can find it. And yeah, thanks so much for joining me as always, and big thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to try HelloFresh for yourself, go to hellofresh.com and use my code emmymade12 to receive 12 free meals, including free shipping. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoy that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! Victoria!